Hello, it's Liz here. Let's get started. This is the card that I'll be sharing with you today. Okay, I'm going to put that aside. And let me tell you the products that I'll be using. I'll be using water painters. They come in a pack of 3. They're just different sizes. Okay, water painters. I'll be using Fluid 100 watercolor paper. Let me move this aside. This is the stamp set that I'll be using. It is Splendid Thoughts, and it's in the new mini catalog. So it's the fall winter mini catalog, Splendid Thoughts. I'll be using Label Me Lovely punch. Let's see. This is the Woven Weave Open Wood. Let's try that one again. This is the Evening Evergreen Open Weave Ribbon. Open Weave Ribbon, Evening Evergreen. Okay. Ink colors that I'll be using: Evening Evergreen, Sahara Sand, Balmy Blue, and Parakeet Party. Parakeet Party is one of the new in colors. My cardstock sizes. I have Parakeet Party will be the base, so that is 8.5 by 11 cut in half. It's already been scored. So let me use the bone folder and make a nice crease. Bone folder is great for that. It makes it just flat, okay? Saves your thumbs from pressing all the time too. So that's my base. The next piece I'll be using is Evening Evergreen, and this is 4 by 5 1/4. 4 by 5 1/4. My next piece is my watercolor paper, and this is 3 3/4 by 5. And then I have an a Parakeet Party piece here that is 1.5 by 2.5. Let's see, anything else I'm missing to get started? I think just the adhesives. I'm using glue dots. And I'll be using the Tombow Multi Liquid Glue. All right, so let's get started. Go ahead with the watercolor paper. So this is called No Line Watercolor, and I'll show you in a minute why that is. I'm using Sahara Sand, but you could use any neutral light color, like a pale, very pale color. Like you could use Crumb Cake, but Crumb Cake's very, very dark. So if you use Crumb Cake, you want to stamp it off like twice on your paper and then stamp on to the watercolor paper. But Sahara Sand is what I'll be using. And I'm going to ink up, and I actually could just, let me see if I can grab scrap paper. I wanted it to be super light. So I can even ink that and just stamp off on some scratch paper first. And then go ahead and stamp on here. I just want it to be light. We'll stamp off. And then I'm going to go ahead and stamp right on here. Okay, so just dark enough that I can see it, but it doesn't need to be very dark. Okay, so let's put that one aside. And I'm going to start with the Parakeet Party. And what I'm going to do with the Parakeet Party is I'm going to press it in. I'm just squeezing with the palms of my hand so that I can get ink in the lid. All right, this is the water painter, and there is water inside this cartridge in here. So I'm going to take this here, make sure you can see that, and you can squeeze on the side. There's little places to squeeze, and I'm going to add water in here. The more water you add, the lighter your color will be. The less water, the darker the color. Okay, so I'm going to just do this with the water in here. And then I'm doing the underneaths of the leaves. And it's watercolor, so don't feel like, oh no, if I went outside the line, it's really just not a big deal. So I'm just lightly following the Sahara Sand lines. Now this Parakeet Party is a lighter color, so I'm kind of still seeing the lines of the Sahara sand, but stay with me. I just give you a real reminder while I'm doing this that celebration is going on right now. Celebration is July 1st through August 31st. If that is new to you, that is when you can choose a free product from the celebration brochure, which is like this. And there are free products in here with a $50 purchase or a $100 purchase. And you can choose some free items in here. I can show you some of my favorite items in a minute, but let me keep going with this. Okay, so remember, if you want it to be, it's easier to go darker. It's really hard once it's dark to get it to be light. So if you want to start with it light, and you can always make it darker later. Just a light touch. Did I miss an area? I think that's it. Okay, so let me close that up, and I'm going to go on to the Evergreen, the Evening Evergreen. We're going to do the same thing. Press that together, open that up. This is super dark, so I just want to add some water to it to lighten that up a bit. Okay, and then I'm going to start coloring in here. Now this is a much darker color, and this is where that I said it's called no line watercoloring is going to come into play. Because as I go, I'm slightly going over the line. As I go over that line, the outside line where I stamped is disappearing. I'm just following along that line. Okay, again, it's watercoloring, so don't feel like it has to be exact. But I am following that line, and then the Sahara sand that I stamped is disappearing. Okay, so stick with me as I do this. Have you tried this before? This is, I didn't even know, I will tell you, you know, there's national this, national that, national all sorts of things. There's worldwide this, worldwide that. Some holidays, some days are, you know, National Hot Dog Day, National Ice Cream Day, whatever. Some of them just seem silly, some whatever. And like there's a National Chocolate Day, like I'm only going to wait for that day to eat chocolate, right? But anyway, right now is national or worldwide, I don't even know, guys, but I told you, watercoloring month. It's not even a day, it's a whole month. So I was like, you know what, I don't know who came up with that, whatever, but it's fun. So let's focus on watercoloring this month. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be giving you all sorts of videos this month with watercoloring. I will have more on my Facebook page too, so if you want to check that out, possibly on Instagram. If you're not on there, you can find on Instagram, I'm listed as Liz Paper Crafter. And on Facebook, you can find me on Stampin' on the Rock. Okay. Takes a little bit of time, so thanks for hanging out with me and staying put. But if you haven't tried this, give it a try. Find one of your fine line ink set and stamp sets that you have and give it a try. All right, so we're moving along. If you would like a hard copy of the new catalog, shoot me a message and I can gladly get that to you. You can also see all the products on stampinontherock.com right here. All right, and also, like I told you before, if you like what you're seeing, hit that share button down below. There's a button down there that says share. You can share it in an email, you can share it on Facebook, you can share it in a text. And that would be awesome. That would be a great encouragement, a boost to me that you're enjoying what you're seeing. coming to an end. I always wonder how long you want to see these videos, how long, and I think I would like to keep them more on the shorter side, but then there's times when I think like I want to show you something a little more involved, and it's just going to take a little more time. So, hope you're enjoying. And remember that all the products that I'm using come from the stampinontherock.com. So if you're on there and you cannot find it, shoot me a message. I will be glad to help you out. I'm just following along this outside line, and then I'll fill in. These water painters are fabulous. If you have a little one, like a little people in your house, this is really nice too. I will say we had different versions of these years ago, but I have taken these on road trips, and it's nice because they can do those little watercolor books, like the coloring books. And you don't need like a little cup of water. It's just put the water in here for them, and then they can play with this. If they happen to squeeze it too much in the car, it's water. It's not a big deal. And there's only so much water in here, so it's not like it's going to be a huge mess. But these are great for young kiddos when they want to do watercoloring books. Just a little extra tidbit of information that maybe you didn't even ask for, but there you go. Okay. All right, and there we go. So it's called No Line Watercolor, because you'll see where I did the darker color there, the lines disappear. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside, and then I'm going to grab the Balmy Blue, do the same thing. I'm going to press that in. Let me get rid of this. The way I can get rid of this color that's in here, I don't want this green. So I'm just going on a scratch piece of paper. I'm squeezing the water until the green part disappears, and then I can just go right into the blue. So what I'm going to do with the blue now, let's pull this in where you guys can see this. Sorry about that. Same thing with the blue. I'm going to get this really light. I really want this just to be a wash, so it's going to be super light. And I'm just making this a wash background behind my leaves here. Doesn't even have to be super close to what you're doing, like to the lines. I'm just kind of going around here. Just giving it a nice pretty blue background, but super, super light. Lots of water in this one. Seems like it's getting too dark. Just add some more water to it. Guys, I always like to see what you've done too. So if you've tried some of these things, shoot me a message. You can send it in the email. If you can send it through Facebook, you can send it through Instagram Messenger, but send me a picture of maybe something you're creating, because I love getting ideas from you too. Okay, there we go. Okay, and it's just a super light wash to it, and you can let it dry. If you want to make it darker, if you decide like maybe this green under here isn't dark enough for you and you would like it to be a little bit darker, let it dry. Let it dry completely. This is the part we always have a hard time with, most of us, is the patience. So let it dry completely. If you want to be a little bit quicker about it, you can grab a heat gun and you can blow over and heat it. Otherwise, just let it dry for an hour or so, and you can come back and you can do the same thing again. You can grab that Parakeet Party ink, and you can go back over it, and it'll get a little bit darker, a little bit darker. The more layers you add, the darker it will be. But that's the basic look to it there. And then I'm going to let that dry. Let's grab this piece here, this 1.5 by 2.5 piece. What I'm going to do with this is I'm using the Label Me Lovely punch. Obviously, that is not going to fit the whole thing. What I'm doing with it is I just want an edge. So I'm going to turn it over this way. I'm taking this 1.5 inch piece and I'm sliding it in so it's just in there a little bit. And I'm lining up the top and the bottom so that they're even. And then I'm going to, when I know that they're even, then I'm going to punch. Okay, so then I'm ending up with this. And then I'm taking the evening evergreen, and I'm going to stamp the words, much love in your new life together. And I'm going to stamp it a little bit closer to the top so that I have room for my ribbon. I'll pull that off. Let's close this up. And I'm just pulling off a piece of ribbon on here that is, I don't know, let's see. Maybe about like 8 inches. All right, let me show you here the ribbon. Everybody has a different way they tie a bow. Here's the ribbon this way. I'm going to come down about 1/4 of the way, and I'm going to make a little loop. Same thing on this end, 1/4 way, make a little loop, and there I have 2 loops. And I'm going to go left over the right side, pull it through the center, I hope, right? Pull it through the center, and I'm going to just gently pull it out, and you'll see, look, you go, oh, that didn't turn out so well. Play with it then, just play around. Pulling one side, pull the other side. Gotta gently pull that again, pull it again, and play with it a little bit so you get it where you want it. There you go. That looks pretty good. All right. Gotta take a glue dot and put that right here in the corner. Pull off the backing. And then I can take my bow and just stick that right on the glue dot. Okay, and then I take my scissors and just trim off some little tails here. I usually make them not exactly the same length on my tails. And this is still a little bit wet, so I'm not going to attach that right away, but I'm going to pull this back out and just show you. Okay, so I went ahead and adhered the watercolor piece onto the evening evergreen. I adhered that on there, and then what I did with this piece here is I made sure that this, so that it connects things together. Instead of having this, the words here, go right to the right edge of the watercolor paper, I attached the watercolor paper to the green and had it go to the edge of the green. And then that way it pulls everything together. Let me show you here. Okay, so this is actually to the edge of the dark green, the evening evergreen. And then I just put that on with the liquid glue. And that's the end of my card. So that is called No Line Watercoloring. Give it a shot if you already have. I'd like to know that too, how that went for you. And if you have any questions, down below, comment, hit the share button. I'll talk with you later. Thanks so much. Remember, celebration. Oh, guys, let me show you. Celebration. Let me show you this because maybe you haven't seen all these things. Let me show you. I said I would tell you at the end. These hippos, cute, cute, cute. Okay, there's hippo stamps, and there are hippo dies that go with that. Adorable. This paper, beautiful, beautiful. Love Designer Series paper. There's flowers, but then there's plaids, there's designs. There's houses on here, which is great if you know someone who just moved recently. Houses there, or just, you know, welcome to your home. This is probably the best value, I think, always. We have in our catalog where you can buy note cards and envelopes. Great value. But this you're getting for free. It's Pool Party and Soft Sea Foam, and it has pre-scored cards for you and envelopes. Fabulous. 20 cards, 20 envelopes. These are nature stylish sketches. It has a fox in here and some ducks. It's just cute. This one here is some silver and gold sparkly paper. Love the words in this one. This is amazing phrases. This is with a $100 purchase. Amazing phrases. It has woohoo, hey, oops, amazing, and then a bunch of little words to go with it. This is a camping set. Whole bunch of dies here. You know, some camping people who just love to go out camping. Great cards to send to them. Maybe that's you. This is some beautiful paper too, and this is with the $100 purchase. And this one you're getting a stamp set and the paper. That's a huge value. And this is if you host your own party, $300 or more. It can be your own order or a combination of orders. You're going to end up with this stamp set that will come with your order. And that's it for now, guys. Hope you enjoyed. I'll talk with you later. Bye-bye.